This episode of the podcast is brought to you by Prism Plus. Prism Plus is a one-stop shop, A to Z, complete Jiu Jitsu curriculum. So if you are an intermediate or advanced student and you're looking to fill a hole in your game, you can go on and search for the specific course that you're looking for. Or if you are a beginner student, you can start from the beginning and build your game from the ground up. Prism Plus just launched, so we're offering a special deal for the first 100 people that subscribe. It's $14.99 just for those first 100 people, and then after that the price is going to go up. So go to prismplus.online and sign up today.
Kidding me? You can't Niba?
So you pretty much flow with the goal.
I come to the right place now.
Post Rolls Jiu Jitsu Podcast.
Thanks for joining us.
All right.
On the Post Rolls Podcast. Gentlemen, we just rolled, and now we're podcasting. And that's why it's called the Post Rolls Podcast.
That's right. Because we did some jiu-jitsu. I took a cold shower.
Oh, respect.
I'm ready to go.
I noticed someone turned the shower at the gym on hot. I didn't like that very much, but I fixed it.
It wasn't me.
So
it wasn't me. You know that in every shower there's a temperature control module.
We're teaching stuff. We're learning stuff on this podcast. And we're here with Michael Area Sands.
What's up, everybody?
Nice to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
So he's the first black belt in the area with the pronouns she and it, because he's the shit.
Where'd you get your black belt from?
I got my black belt from Mario Yamasaki, who also gave me that nickname, Area.
Oh, it's a nickname?
Yeah.
What's it mean?
It's just my last name, Sands. Sand.
Oh, is it Japanese for
No,
sand?
it's in Portuguese.
We just went through this amazing conversation.
When I was in the
I don't
room.
know. All those jiu-jitsu nicknames are like silly, right? So
It's awesome.
it's fun.
I feel like all the jiu-jitsu names are either Pitbull or Cyborg, and that's the only two choices you have. At least if you're Brazilian, that's what you got.
Yeah, like the old school Brazilian nicknames, you know, like you know, if like you're a rock star or like you played the guitar or something, be like Haquero, or like, you know, like you had a big head, just be like Cabeça or something.
Big head.
Can you speak any Portuguese?
I don't
No,
know.
not at all.
The only one I know is Cambach.
Combate, como vai?
And
What's
Oaks.
Just like, you know, how are you, whatever.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
I don't know. Boy, you hear that one all the time, right?
That has like a few meanings, right?
I don't know. I know it means like good job or good. Like I hear them yelling it at matches and stuff.
I always thought it meant good, and then I think I got.
What does it mean?
It's not necessarily good. I think it means like. I think it's just. I don't know if excitement would be the right word, but I was training in Alliance for the Master Worlds Camp, and I was asking some of the guys because 80% of the class speak Portuguese, and I said, I'm like, "Boa." No, that doesn't make any sense for this situation. Wait, what? I thought it meant good.
Well, no,
Like,
I think boha with the double R in there is fuck.
Yeah, it's poha.
Poha.
Right?
Poha is fuck, but there's boa and there's poha.
Yeah.
Man, I've been just saying fuck to all these guys.
Poha.
Fuck!
I'm like, great job, fuck.
Remember there was that Jose Aldo Jr. and Conor McGregor, and Conor McGregor's talking all this shit, all this clever stuff, you know, and then Jose Aldo just goes poha.
Just you fuck. Stupid fuck. Sorry. Sorry to our adolescent viewers at home.
Yeah,
we don't typically use that language, but you're up too late. You shouldn't be listening to this podcast anyway.
I think we're not supposed to curse in the first few minutes of the video.
Oh my god.
For algorithmic purposes.
Really? Gotcha. All right. Yeah. Well, hope that doesn't distract from our 75 viewers.
It's going to take our views from 50 to like 30 now.
Oh my god. We're losing viewers.
Just use poha.
Poha.
That's
Poha,
true.
Yeah.
I'll bleep it out. No, I won't.
Bleep it out in Brazil or something.
So, Michael, now you train at Clark Gracie's.
I
right?
do.
And did you kind of get you got your black belt at Clark's, but your master sensei came?
No, I got my black belt like with Clark.
Okay.
Yeah, like I moved to San Diego as a brown belt, and then I was like, I really wanted to finish it out with Fernando, and I talked to Clark, and I said, hey, look, can you just...
Wait, where's Fernando at?
Fernando's in Maryland.
Oh, okay.
D.C., Maryland. And it was a school started by his brother, Mario Yamasaki, the UFC, the UFC ref.
The guy.
And...
That's this one, right?
Yeah, the heart shape.
Yeah. You know, they all have a thing they do when they get in trouble. He's the one that does this.
He does the heart shape,
Yeah. He's kind of hated, too. He's like the most hated ref. Right?
Is he? Is he the one that they talk trash about? We were not going to talk about that.
He's the one that where he's let, like, I think, I could be getting this wrong. I think he's the one ref that has, like, let people basically die out there and just been like,
Oh.
Yeah, I think that became controversial, right? Like, as the sport progressed. Like,
As well they should. Way of the samurai.
what do you mean?
well, I think, from what I understand, it's a limited understanding also. And, like, maybe we can call him up and ask. But we can say,
Oh, respect.
I think as the sport grew and, you know, the rule sets get tighter and tighter and, you know, it's not like flying teeth anymore, you know.
Well, the good days.
I think his ref style maybe didn't apply, or like, I'm not, you know, something like that.
But I think that he's not. Do you know? I know you said that he was your instructor's brother.
Right.
I feel like because I'm about to say some negative things. So is this like a friend of yours?
Yeah, he's a close friend, but it's fine.
okay.
But it's fine. It's totally fine.
No, respect to Yamasaki. You know, let them die out there. They should be prepared.
Let me just say that I could not do any better, and because I've repped to kids.
Dude, reffing's
pancreation
hard.
before. It is hard. It's difficult. It's
Kids
stressful.
pancreation.
Yeah, I did it once. I was like,
boots
I'm
and
never
head,
doing this again.
shoulder.
One
it
parent's
was
going to be
basically-
angry with you.
Yeah, it was basically MMA fights with no head strikes allowed.
Okay.
But you know, when you're punching someone in the chest, and that person's trying to take you take you down. Kids were getting concussions left and right. I was like, I'm not doing this again. This
Wow.
it was rough.
That's what I hate about the back of the head rule. I mean, the best way to knock someone out is like right behind the back of the ear. You know, and that's essentially
you can
back
hit
of the
someone.
head.
You can hit someone behind the back of the ear.
Right, but
It's like just above the spine. You can't hit them.
just above the spine.
It's like I think the mohawk is what they say. Like if someone has a mohawk, you can't hit them in the mohawk.
You can't hit him in the You can't hit him on top.
Well, that'd be the right.
Oh, with the elbow.
Yeah.
I mean, just like boop him.
Yeah, like a whack-a-mole.
I saw that in boxing. I think it was Venom Page did it to someone. He was like, boop. Hey.
He did like a little shoulder shimmy and then
100% he did. I'm pretty sure it was him.
It's like you're not enough competition for me.
I love him so much. He is my favorite fighter right now.
man, the fear factor of fighting somebody who like collapsed somebody's skull, you know?
Oh my God. What are you talking about? Who?
Michael
Cyborg?
Venom Page.
Oh, did he collapse somebody's skull?
Dude, he
and now I love him more.
just flying kneed someone. Like from a standstill, right? He like got
Really?
he kind of like did his dancey thing, got the guy to kind of hesitate, and then from not like a scissor jumping knee, like the athlete one, where like an anime one, where he just jumped straight in the air and went bam.
Oh, like the straight up one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
just
the guy
jumped
was
up and beat him
shooting? Oof.
and put a dent in his skull, like a deep dent in his skull.
Was that Cyborg?
It was Cyborg, yeah.
No
yeah.
way, that's who did that to
That's
him?
the only nickname you get.
Oh my
Cyborg.
God.
Which one of the cyborgs? I'm not sure, but it's one of them.
Oh my God, the cyborg that was married to a cyborg.
Yes, that one. Yeah,
That's not a joke.
Mr. Cyborg.
It's like your third eye's open now.
Oh my God, it looked like it. That was the skull crusher.
Yeah. And then if you remember, because he didn't know obviously the extent of his injury at the time, but he knocked him out.
Oh, and he was
Then-
mocking him, wasn't he?
No, he got a Pokeball from somewhere and did like a spinning and rolled a Pokeball at him, like he caught him, you know, like he captured him or whatever, you know,
An actual Pokeball?
like a toy Pokeball. I mean, it didn't like suck him into the ball,
But he-
but it well, not a functioning Pokeball, but like a toy Pokeball, yeah.
Well, that's rude. If it was like, I didn't know if it was like a make-believe Pokeball, like he just created.
No, he got a toy
An
and he
actual-
rolled it, and he
that
did
is
like the presentation and then rolled it. to him.
insanely disrespectful. Jesus. And it just rolled into that clump in his head.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
But I think that because at the time he thought he knocked him out. He didn't know that he like really.
I think
die.
he would have been more. Yeah, he would have been more. He would have been.
Do you remember in the Ultimate Fighter where what's his name, spinning Hill? No, Uriah Hall, spinning heel kicked him,
Yes,
and he was just like it looked like he was dead, and he was just like, I'm sorry. They're sitting there watching him like.
And he should have said, "Get some."
Yeah.
We don't say sorry.
Yeah, we don't do
say
that.
Get some. Because we know we're sorry, right? You know what I mean? Right. So you just say get some quietly, and then anyone that doesn't know us is like, dang, these guys are hardcore. Get some. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to talk about I'm super excited to just talk about fights. But we should talk about Japan a little bit.
So that was 3 tangents deep. So you were talking about your black belt with Clark.
Yeah. Got some nice support from Clark, and then finished it out with Fernando Yamasaki, just being here on the West Coast, and then
super cool.
Kind of.
When you say you got your black belt with him, you mean like you guys got promoted together?
No, we got more like he supported me. Okay. Like I didn't really get it under him, but I trained.
Gotcha.
With Clark for a while, and then went back and got promoted there. And
well, that's cool that he was so that he was understanding of like, hey, I still want to be promoted from my.
I think that's something that I want to mention too. Is like, I think you just need to over communicate what you want to do and your path, and you're in charge of your jiu-jitsu, really, right? So, just be open with whoever's teaching with you and all of that, because I think if you go behind their back, which happens a lot, it's all these assumptions and
Did it bother you at all though when Clark tore off the Gracie Allegiance patch on your gi when you got your black belt?
I
don't think you did that.
Hey, you have a really great Clark story.
I do?
At his birthday party?
Oh my God.
Have you shared that story? You should just share it either way.
Which birthday party?
For the viewers.
I think I've even shared it to Clark. I'm like, did this really happen? I'm not sure if this happened. It wasn't his birthday party. It was it was a gi. I think they were giving him, they were collecting kids' gis. And it was kind of a disco day. And they had like a DJ there, and they had a taco truck. And I brought all the gis we had. Like we just had a bunch of gis collecting dirt. And so threw them all there, big old piles of gis, and they had an open mat. It was super fun. And this was before I think he had a girlfriend or was married or anything like that. And so he's sitting out front, and I didn't really know him all that well. We had a nice little.
So this was La Jolla, or where was it?
It was in the same spot.
Morena?
I don't know.
Or San Diego Boulevard?
I don't know. I don't remember where it was. So we had the awesome open mat. I had a nice conversation with him and stuff. He was nice to me, but to me he was still like quite a star. And so I was a little nervous around him or whatever. And so as I was leaving, I saw him sitting down outside, and there was a crowd of Brazilian women around him. What seemed like an ocean, if you will, of Brazilian women. And I was just like, wow. And I was just, I would not have bothered a man in the situation that he was in. So on my way to my car, I was like, hey Clark, thanks. This was awesome. Appreciate you. Whatever. And he stood up. I swear he put a hand on 2 cheeks of 2 different women, and he just parts them all.
Face cheeks.
As they cheeks. Face cheeks. And he just parts them and like walks through them like Moses. And gave me the greatest hug. And I was just like, this sound, for some reason this sound was like, oh, and I was like, oh my God, you're the greatest human alive. And he was like, said something awesome. Thank you for being here. Yeah. All the commandments are on these stones, and I'll share that with you soon. And I was like, wow, you are the absolute man. And then he just disappeared backwards back into the sea of the women. And closed slowly.
The women closed in around him.
That's right. Like Homer going into the bush. Like, literally. So good.
My story's a little bit different. I moved to PB when I first got to San Diego, and I trained at Rodrigo Madero's. Mm-hmm. And he was there training, and he told me, like, when he saw me or like anybody else for that matter, he comes in, he's like, fresh meat. And the first time I rolled with him was I got caught in the double omoplata, which is like,
what?
Well, it's basically like you got the omoplata and then you reach around and grab the other arm.
And you with your arm, the otother arm.
You're like underhooking the forearm.
Yeah, you're underhooking that far arm, and you pull it back, and like I think in wrestling it's called like wings of victory, or we call it wings of victory, right? Because both your arms are stuck back there. Yeah. And then he just like cranked him.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
He's all,
wait, this is your first day in jiu-jitsu?
No, it was first time meeting Clark.
When
I met Clark.
And Clark did this move to you?
Yeah, that's all.
Do you count that as a double tap? if you like do two submissions at
It's
once.
like a triple, quadruple
It's
tap.
like a quadruple
Yeah.
tap.
Yeah.
It's like
Tap
one,
with everything in your body.
just one wrist lock too.
You probably can't even tap with your fingers. So it was fun, and then after that, we kind of became friends.
He's really awesome though. I think I don't know if people have a misconception of him, but he just could be I think quite a bit more arrogant than he is. He could be like this guy, and I don't think, and everyone would be like, yeah, it makes sense, you're that guy. But he's not.
I think he has a reputation for being a nice guy. I think he's just such a handsome guy that everyone assumes like he's probably not cool.
I know,
You know what I mean?
but it's
But
He's super
but anybody,
nice.
I've never heard anyone say anything other than he's
No,
awesome.
You're right.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm talking about. I just made up a rumor.
But like if you weren't part of the community, right, and then you saw him, you're like,
Yeah.
I bet he's not cool to talk to.
No,
He's
I
too
bet he's
fucking handsome. There's no reason for him to have a personality.
No.
I think the height of that was like when he went on the Today Show.
Yeah.
For that,
He was on the Today Show.
yeah, he won Pans, and he got. I don't think it was the final match, but one of the matches he was photographed
Doing that where he was like
doing
all
the
cute.
doing the omoplata,
Right.
winning, and like gave like a cute smile or whatever to the photographer.
Did he? Oh, so he did that on purpose?
Well, I don't know.
Yes,
I
of
thought.
course.
I thought.
Of course he did it on purpose.
Well, I thought he was like. You ever like you ever pause the TV at the wrong time and they're doing something funny? Like I thought it was just like he was doing something and like was maybe like he was definitely propping his head up. But I thought he was just pausing and be like, all right, what should I do here? I didn't know he was like being cute like intentionally.
I don't know.
I think
he's
that's
actually
better. That's
kind of
awesome.
smiling in that picture, and so I think he knew he was going to win, maybe.
Yeah.
And
That was a real emotion on his face.
and then
And that got him on the Today Show.
well, the meme went around saying like he was the most handsome guy in jiu-jitsu, and there was like a bunch of other different taglines.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then I think that got him on the Today Show because he won Pans, and then basically
the rest
This
is
is
history.
so,
video is
uh,
hilarious.
Is this so worth it? I may actually do for the first time ever, do some extra editing and put that picture
Oh,
of.
there you go.
Which Clark Gracie Omoplata?
Do you hear that sound?
That's the ghost.
I think it's bad electricity.
No, it isn't.
It's the ghost
it's
of
bad
Helio
electricity.
Gracie.
No.
Yeah. I just solved it for you.
It's the ghost of Mario Gracie. He visits our podcast.
Just get a clean
Friend of the podcast.
power pack.
It's the thing it's this thing. Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
Oh my God! Convince me that you did.
Wait, is it this one?
The picture.
Let me see.
Come
Yep,
on.
that's
for
it.
viewers
That's
at
the
home.
right there.
For viewers at home, it is that one.
It is that one.
That's the one. Yeah, but he has a few of them.
I remember there being one where he's like propping his chin up. Like on
That's
his
a
hand.
different one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
But that's the one that was turned into a meme and
Oh, okay.
got all famous.
Yeah.
Hey, but so you recently visited Japan, right?
I did. Yeah, I was there in November. October,
How was that?
November. It was great.
How long were you there?
For business or pleasure?
You can say it's personal business. My mom passed away in 2019, and because of COVID, like, she was cremated, and I wanted to take her back to Japan, but we never got the chance to. So
Was she Japanese?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I'm half Japanese.
That's where
mother's-
the it comes from. She, it.
Why would that be Japanese?
I don't know. I was just trying to,
Too many beers.
Just trying to lighten it up.
I take back what I said about your sense of humor earlier.
Hurts.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Anyway, we went to Japan, my brother and I, and so personal business in the sense that,
Right.
laid to rest my mom, which was really, really great, feeling closure, and then going to Japan as a black belt and trained a day at the Kodokan, which is the judo epicenter.
Oh yeah. Did you go to jiu-jitsu school and show them all why the Brazilians were better?
No. But I did train at a bunch of jiu-jitsu schools respectively.
Oh, okay.
Hey, did you see?
I trained at Yuki Nakai's place, Parastrada.
So
I don't
cool.
know who that is.
So Yuki Nakai was the Pride, I think it was like 93, 94. When was Choke? Do you remember Rickson Gracie's
You don't remember
documentary?
Yuki Nakai?
Dude, I was 4 years old.
But you've seen Choke.
I've seen Choke, yeah, but I don't know when it came out.
It's the dude that got second.
He got
Oh,
Yuki
stomped
Nakai
in the
got
eye.
second.
He got stomped in the eye by the French guy in the first round, and then second round, something like in the bracket. right?
The French guy. Gerard Godot.
Was he doing jiu-jitsu though?
Yeah.
It was
like
it was the one that he won. It was the one that Hickson won. It was the big main show.
Yeah.
And so
But
Gerard Godot, eye gouged him. I thought he eye gouged
didn't
him.
he kick him? I don't know.
Whatever.
We got
it was rude
too.
Yeah.
But
It was super rude.
Jaime,
And then
pull that up.
Jaime. And then he won the second match too via heel hook or by a leg lock.
Something.
He took a lot of punishment though.
Yeah.
And so he was a mess. And so they were even arguing about him
Coming out, right?
in the locker room of Hickson's.
Because he was basically blind, and he's blind in that eye because of that match, those matches.
Wow.
But he comes out and he's totally celebrated, right? Because he's that samurai, whatever, the willpower to get out there and finish the match. And I think Hickson took his back or whatever, but I think he became kind of like a Hickson student and became like one of the first big jiu-jitsu guys in Japan. So
that's cool.
It was really cool.
That's
so it was
awesome.
really cool to train there. And,
He's one as famous jiu-jitsu or as famous like fighters go. He's one of my favorites ever. He's like one of the most resilient and durable.
I think people like just love his spirit.
Yeah.
Like it's just like Yuki Naka. Like let's go, motherfucker.
It was after the second match. They're carrying him like they're literally like he's on the shoulders of them, and he's yelling Hickson's name. Hickson, I'm coming for you. Like what?
And he gets out. The best move is like he gets out in the ring and he does that like low shanso, some sort of crazy stance. He's like,
oh my god!
And now it's all Yuki Naka.
The greatest.
Dude, we should do a fight companion sometime and just watch like the first few prides or something. I've never seen any.
Watch videos that you watched.
You've never seen any of the early prides.
That's all right.
I've never seen any pride.
Well, are you? Hold on.
I'm like almost 20 years older than Nick.
I mean, I've seen like clips of like Rampage slamming the guy.
Really? But you haven't seen a full
I've seen Anderson
event?
Silva get scissor takedown. You
gotta watch. You gotta watch all the old ones.
Yeah,
for
the
sure.
show. So you've never seen the show?
Yeah, never.
The show is
like at last
Super
ACC
Bowl.
when they had the lady doing the announcing. I'm like, ugh.
If you could see her, and that's not a good representation of her because back then we didn't know. We thought that was a demon out of hell that was doing that. And then now her voice is getting a little. And then they brought Pride to the U.S. and they showed her face. Like, no, that's her. That's where that voice came from.
That makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, and so that really destroyed. We were all.
You didn't know it was just some crazy or not crazy lady,
I didn't
but
even know it was a lady.
Crazy.
I didn't even know it was a lady.
Yeah, you couldn't. Yeah.
That's insane. Her voice.
I wouldn't have guessed. Well, no, in the ADCC, but I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
because I've heard when the ADCC thing happened, I've heard clips of her announcing old fights, and if you didn't know that it was a woman, I could see that being like, what the fuck?
I mean, Pride was so good. I even have a few. We could. You got to watch a full event. I've YouTubed some cool stuff, but the events are amazing. Just like the drums. And then the each dude comes out. They'll come out of sometimes they just come out of the stage and they're standing there. Yeah. And you can see Igor Vovchanchin. Oh man, that's an old one.
But they always reference that greatest showdown of all, greatest stare down of all time.
Vanderlei.
So I was gonna say, was it Vanderlei? I was just gonna guess it was Vanderlei just because
Silva, baby.
It was Krokov.
Vanderlei Silva and Krokov.
I've seen that. I've seen videos of that.
Dude, Krokov just stood there like
he was like, I murder people for real.
Silva's just like getting nervous. I was like, oh my god.
Oh, you think you're an axe murderer because you kick people? That's cute.
That's right. And there was a big weight. They shouldn't have even fought each other.
There was a big weight difference?
Pride didn't care. Yeah, Pride didn't care. Vanderlei Silva was in the I think he fought him in that was the Grand Prix.
Was it?
The Grand Prix was insane.
Remember. Yeah.
That's the craziest tournament.
They had all these different brackets. Yeah,
that's the greatest tournament that ever existed. The Pride Grand Prix. The Pride Grand Prix 2009 had Kazushi Sakuraba versus Royce Gracie in a no time limit match. That was the first round. They had another fight after that. They fought.
We hope this ends on time.
They fought for an hour and 45 minutes.
Oh. And then they both had another fight?
They had another fight. They both had to drop out.
The Grand Prix was the It's like same night.
Yeah, you had to keep fighting.
Oh my gosh! And no time limit match.
But Pride
That's
was like
kind
that
of
too, right? The
logistically-
Pride had brackets, and you just kind of like.
That's what we're talking about, Pride, right?
Yeah, it's Pride. The Pride Grand Prix.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, but not all of them. They would have those little tournaments and stuff.
Yeah, they had like one match, and then.
But I couldn't believe that. Did you? So I was over hanging out with a bunch of friends a few months ago, and we put on all the old prides. We started at one and just let it roll.
Oh, cool.
But I didn't realize that match, those two that Hoist and Sakuraba, that was part of the Grand Prix. They had to be like, well, are you coming out for the next one? Like, dude, I just fought for an hour and 45 minutes. No, actually, I'm gonna go ahead and call this one.
I think it'll last about 3 minutes in the next one.
Oh my god!
Sakuraba won, right?
So Sakuraba won, to a. They threw in the towel because Hoist broke his ankle, I think, in the last who knows when, but yeah, that was a crazy match. There was a
He
few other ones
broke his
crazy.
ankle, like he stuck, or like it was broken in a submission.
It might have been broken in a submission, but he didn't tap because he wouldn't tap.
Because his father wouldn't let him come home.
Tap. Yeah, that's right. That was such an epic. You can imagine just to know it was 15-minute rounds indefinitely.
Wow.
Yeah, just the storyline of that.
Why even
to me.
have rounds at that point?
I guess just to check
water,
on him.
hydration.
Yeah, to check on him. Like, hey, are you still here? I don't know. Maybe not.
Do you remember when I was talking about this last night? When GSP fought BJ Penn the second time, and he was smashing him. He was just fucking smashing him, and the round ended, and GSP just gets up and just rages and he like punches the cage and just like hits the cage and storms off. Like the most aggressive you've ever seen GSP be.
Wow.
It was fucking. That was the first MMA fight I ever saw.
Was it really?
That one,
That'll get you going.
I had no idea who they were, but then GSP went on to be my all-time favorite.
He's pretty awesome.
Yeah, he's
I'd
my
love to
favorite
see
for
his.
sure.
I think BJ just got under his skin, like.
Yeah, but he was beating his ass.
I know.
But that definitely was the most
BJ had the
emotional
crowd,
I've ever
though.
seen him be.
BJ had the
Everybody
people behind him.
loves BJ. I've met him a few times.
Have you?
Yeah, he's really cool. I have a great story about BJ. You want to hear a fucking good story?
Yeah, totally. Hit us.
This is a third-party story.
Okay.
I cannot.
Perfect. You can make anything up you want then.
Yeah.
Go for it.
I was not here. I can either confirm or deny the accuracy of this story.
Okay.
I have a family friend that lives in Hawaii, on the same island that BJ does, which I think is the Big Island. And there's a famous hill. I don't know why. I guess it's famous for just being really steep. And they were like walking down it. And then BJ rolls up in a Jeep with a handle of vodka. And just him and a handle of vodka driving. And he goes, hey, he said something like, I don't want to be weird or nothing. I'm like, oh, I'm married. It's cool. But if you guys need a ride, I'll give you a ride. And
That's BJ with a handle of vodka.
Yeah.
And gay innuendos.
No. These are two women. They're two girls. This friend is a female. Yeah. That's why. Yeah, I guess he was like, I'm not trying to creep on you. Is what he was trying to say. You know what I mean? But
Gotcha.
I'll just, if it's a big ass hill, I'll give you a ride if you need one.
Okay.
And they end up talking. And he ends up bringing them back to this compound that he lives at, and his whole like squad lives in this compound. And he's telling him like, oh yeah, I just got out of rehab, this and that, holding this handle of vodka. Meanwhile, he's like running for governor, right? Like a few weeks after this, he's like, I'm running for governor.
After he gets that out of his system.
Yeah. And then there was a couple other things that happened. Like they were like, that's what it was. He was calling my friend his Howley wife. Howley is what they call like non-locals.
Right.
He's like, yeah, my Howley wife, whatever, like introducing her to the crew. And then when her brother posted something and then like a picture of her, and it became an inside joke. And he jokingly was like hashtag Mrs. BJ Penn, right? And then BJ Penn's wife apparently follows this hashtag and then, like, sees the picture, messages my friend and goes, oh, you going with BJ now? Like fucking start talking all this shit. And that was pretty much
It was
it.
a great Jamaican accent that you threw in
That
there,
was
though.
supposed to be my Hawaiian accent. Biakan.
Bumbleclad, no. You going with BJ now?
Oh, I'm gonna mess you up.
Anyways, yeah.
That's awesome.
We're gonna scrap now.
So she was telling me this story, and then like a few weeks later, he's on Joe Rogan. Like, oh yeah, I'm running for governor, but my Hawaiian accent is only Jamaican. That's all I can do.
That's okay. It's more fun anyway.
Anyways.
Bro. One love.
Anyways, how we got on that subject? GSP, Pride.
GSP.
We should watch the Pride sometime.
Japan.
Oh,
We were talking
yeah,
about
yeah.
Japan.
Yeah. What else did you do when you were in Japan?
I had the pleasure of doing a couple seminars. That was really great.
Oh, that's
Some
cool.
different gyms and training at different gyms. If you guys go out there.
Did people approach you? Or did
No,
you
I
have one?
got him through Fernando because he, obviously went out there and did his thing and
Okay.
just reintroduced, I'm one of his students, so
Yeah.
I'm coming out there. Would you like Michael to do stuff? And,
Yeah.
yeah, and then
Super cool.
Then they also know I train with Clark, and
Yeah.
so they want to see,
The handsome man moves.
different things. Yeah, lasso, omoplata, all that stuff.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So
Yeah,
you
it was fun.
You could say this is straight from Clark right here.
What I like about the omoplata that Clark teaches in the lasso guard is that not a lot of people know it. They don't get a lot of looks. So you can go to a gym and hit it.
Not a lot of people know the omoplata.
They don't see a lot of the lasso to omoplata stuff that
okay.
Clark does as a guard player.
Yeah.
And so
Is
you
that
you
the
go and
secret?
you spar at these gyms and people have never seen it. They don't know how to defend it. They don't know what to do. They get caught and tap.
That's how I feel about deep half. Both of us were playing deep half today.
Yeah.
It's such an no longer in the meta.
Right.
That nobody practices defending it, and I can fucking
Really?
sweep everybody with it because
Yeah.
nobody. The only people I have a hard time with is when I get Johnny, Alliance Johnny. I remember he smashed it real fast. I was
Really?
like, oh fuck, because he came up in the era
In that era,
when
yeah.
it was the meta. So everybody knew how to defend it then.
He's also amazing.
That's it.
Yeah. I mean, I tried
And
to
a
sweep
great
him. I can't
mustache.
sweep him.
Yeah.
I couldn't sweep him. Couldn't sweep him.
Yeah.
We rolled forever, and then I think the gym closed, and he could tell I wanted to keep rolling, and he literally could just. He could just feel it. He could feel my energy. Like, oh, you got some more energy? Hey, why don't we keep rolling?
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm gonna sweep him this time. No, nothing. It's just like rolling with a fire hydrant. The fire hydrant's just like, I don't actually move. I'm connected to the earth. So
I bet Johnny's trained with Marcelo at least sometimes.
Oh, probably, right?
both
It's all
Alliance.
Alliance, yeah. And Hodger Grace. Hodger Grace used to be Alliance.
What's up with
Who?
Wait, Hodger Gracie was Alliance?
I think so. Wasn't Hodger Grace Alliance at one point? I think so. Yeah.
What's up with Marcelo? Is he
He's
recovering?
back.
or-
Yeah, man. He's back.
Oh,
I just
really?
saw him on Instagram today. Yeah. Setting the time clock. Training it up.
Oh, fuck yeah.
I think so, yeah.
But
He's
where's
my favorite of
Is
all
he
time.
back in New York or is he in Hawaii?
I don't know. I think it looked...
Wait, what would
he
it be
did
in
have a
Hawaii?
nice tan.
He was
huh?
in Hawaii?
Yeah, he moved to Hawaii a little bit for.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't
For
know
his treatment?
I assume so. I have no idea.
Huh.
that. Yeah, it looked like the old Jim. I don't know.
He's my favorite.
He's the best. He's the best. Just his spirit too. His spirit, his moves. I told you before that I think that his efficient butterfly guard, came from a packed room.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Never told you
Training
that?
in a crowded area.
So when I went and trained in New York trained at their gym a couple times, and it was so packed. It was like a seminar every night. There's 150 people in a room as big as this.
Right.
You're like, that's way too many people for this room. No, go ahead and roll. Like, well, we can't.
This is a fire hazard.
when they'd say, all right, we're going to run in a circle. Okay, well, that's a full circle. And then not only is it a full circle, there's also an inner circle. Like, there's too many people in this
Yeah.
room. And my favorite, though, one of the favorite things he does was his warm-ups. His warm-ups are hilarious. People are laughing into tears. No kidding. He'd take like a soft ball of some sort, some deflated little ball, and you'd have to like do these, not relay races, but 4 people at a time would race to the other side of the gym. It was kind of like a long gym. And at first it would be like, I don't know, but one, hold it between your legs. And you'd have to like front roll or something there. And then at some point it would be like, get it there any way you can without your hands. So you're like some people are holding it like on their side, and people are falling all the time, especially the big guys. And so everyone else is in line to do it, and we're all just a crowd waiting to see these people fall and like hit each other and just be absolutely ridiculous. And everybody, you ended up being very warm because you're so sort of hyper and excited about everything. And I'd never seen anything like that. I mean, it was just like we all did end up getting warmed up. But I've never laughed so much at any warm-up ever.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Maybe it was for his enjoyment, too.
I mean, it's amazing.
You guys watch it. It's like watching everybody.
It is so fun.
You told me that once before, and I did it in class that night.
Yeah.
And it was a great time.
It was a great time.
That's
We had
cool.
fun.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. And you know what else, too? When he came in the room, he came in a little bit early. Everybody was in the room. I mean, I'm sure he gets a lot of visitors. But he 100% walked around and was like, shook my hand, shook everybody's hand that was standing in the room. And there's, 50 people there or something like that. And I thought that was amazing. And, too, just interacting with
I think
him,
that's
too.
great. I mean, for sure. Like those regular jiu-jitsu warm-ups can get tedious and boring and whatever else.
I mean, luckily,
for sure.
black belts don't have to do them.
Yeah.
You just hold up the wall.
Just show up late.
I show up after the moves are being learned.
I went back to my instructor's school the first time I went back after getting my black belt, because I had moved here already, and then got my black belt after.
You skipped warm up?
And I remember that I was like, I was there for the warm ups, but he was like, it was the first time he was like, you don't have to. You could just stand over here with me. I was like, oh, fuck yeah.
Where was that?
Sequence Jiu Jitsu in Norco.
Oh, cool.
Norco is like an hour up north, small town.
Was he like, you're making us look bad if you do the warm-ups? Don't do them.
No, he was laughing. He was like, you're not doing those anymore. I was like, nice. But he's been around so long, you could go to one of his classes and there'll be 5-6 black belts like in the class or more. Sometimes you can go there and be the 10 black belts in the class.
Oh, that's awesome.
But
Baroom's is getting packed right now. We got to go visit there.
yeah.
Is it back to packed level now?
I mean, I saw Sergio was there and
What do you mean back to?
Harlan.
There was it not?
Yeah, there was a period where it was super packed. It was
The open mat. You're talking about the open mat?
Yeah, the open mat, and it was probably the place to before Legion and all that.
So confirm or deny this story.
Go ahead.
So the way I understand it is they created an open mat.
Yep.
This is Alfredo Baroom Jiu-Jitsu, friend of the podcast, I'm sure.
Yeah, we can get him on here.
Yeah, we
should get
could.
him
We
on.
probably could. We talked about it.
You think?
Actually,
Get everybody on here.
Yeah.
Clark.
Alfredo's pretty
Alfredo.
awesome.
You think Clark would come on the podcast?
Yeah.
Nice.
Maybe.
Well, this is our
I don't
end
know.
right here.
You went from for sure.
Yeah.
Well, it's like
We
he's
have
got a newborn and
We have some vegan
I got a
food.
newborn. Excuses.
You tell them. That's how you connect. We got newborns. You can bring them, not for the podcast or for the rolling.
We can do live calls.
Yeah.
We could go there.
Like you
and do
talk
the
shit
podcast.
about Mario
we'll go to
Yamasaki,
him.
I could call him.
Respect to Mario Yamasaki.
Right? I mean, wouldn't that be like
They should be prepared to die in the ring.
You could ask him straight up.
Yeah.
So what do you
All right, I'm
think?
sorry. Go ahead.
We'll
Samurai
go to his school.
Alfredo.
Oh, yeah.
Well, so he previous to that, open mats were kind of closed doors, right?
Mm-hmm.
You had to be, he had to be a member or a friend or somebody. You couldn't just come in. And then his students, Baroom's students, started a Sunday open mat, and he wasn't going. And then people started coming. They were like, "Yeah, anybody from all over, yeah, just come on." We don't.
I think it might have been Harlan, actually.
They started, yeah,
I think so, yeah.
Could be right.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're doing an open mat. And then what I heard was he was like, somebody said, "Man, you have the greatest open mat in San Diego." And he was like, "I do? When?" And they were like, "Sunday." And he was like,
"The gym's closed
I'm not there on Sunday." He knew they did an open mat, but he was like, "What are you talking about?" Because he would never show up on Sundays, at least what I remember. And so he found out that his students created that environment. And of course, he's just a super awesome person and was like, "This is a great environment." And then he started showing up too. But and then that sort of broke the barriers of San Diego being so closed door, because there was a lot of schools. There was still a decent amount of schools here, but it was like, you weren't. There's a Portuguese
and them
word
over there.
for not changing
Yeah, I
schools,
think that's
right?
true.
Creole.
I think he was the first, like, what do you call that, Switzerland kind of thing, where it's like
He was the first Switzerland.
Yeah.
He was the Switzerland of Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah, but he didn't even know it. It was his students that did it. That's what we have to confirm or not. But
Did you train there?
He's so super cool.
I've trained there, yeah.
Oh, you have?
Yeah.
Dude, he's so cool. We've done, I think it was probably open mat, And I was just talking to him after and stuff, and they finished open mat, and he's had me stay, and we just got to roll. Just roll. Nobody cares. Nobody's looking. And just because we both like kind of had good movement together or whatever. But man, I can't thank him enough for everything he's done, and just his he almost came to our black belt on the beach open mat. He was super sad that he gave me a real nice message that he wasn't going to come, but man, he loved it, and he loved the idea of it, and he would be there if he could.
We got to do it again this summer. It's getting warm again.
I know, we got to just make a nice plan. Guys, if anyone's listening, black belts, we don't want to make it exclusive to black belts, but that's kind of the fun thing that we're trying to do, is get black belts together like Barum did. And man, if we just put it on the beach somewhere, I think that if we could just make it an annual thing, like we know it's going to happen, I think that'd be amazing.
That would be fun. Get a big group would be great.
Yeah, right. Like they did in.
What year was that when you did the beach thing?
Sure. It's probably 2 years ago, maybe.
2 years ago.
Really?
But I think, and a friend of the podcast, Huron Gracie, I think you saw my post, Huron, and because he commented on my post, and then they did all the black belts at Torrance, Gracie.
Yeah.
So at Torrance, and I mean, because it's an awesome idea. I mean, they got 150 people there. They got 200 for the next one. I mean, it's just so cool.
It's your big idea.
So yeah, so that's my big idea. I'm probably gonna make shirts up or something like that.
Huron Gracie stole my idea.
That's right. Just his name real big, because I'm a super fan of his.
Who was the name of that? The guy that came from Alliance that was he was at that same beach day, and you competed against him.
Oh, it's on the tip of my tongue. Don't do this to me. I can see his name, but the letters are mixed up in my head.
You were there. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I can't remember.
Oh my God.
Sorry.
Well, I guess he's not a friend of the podcast anymore.
Not a friend of the podcast.
But God, he's
No,
good.
he's a nice guy.
He was one of the best white men in jiu-jitsu.
He said he was like he was like almost qualified for ADCC, right? He was like second in the trials a couple of times.
As far as I know, yeah.
Did you beat him?
Super far. Did I beat him? No.
Actually, so Miles competed against him.
Yeah.
And I was cornering Miles. And then Miles told me a thing, which I use all the time now, by the way.
Oh, really?
And he goes, okay, because at the time I didn't really know Miles that well, or at least not his jiu-jitsu.
Sure.
Yeah. And then so he was like, don't give me advice.
Just give me the time.
Just tell me what the other person is doing.
Oh, nice.
Because it kind of makes them second guess. So like if they're like, all right, he's going for an omoplata, right? They go, oh, fuck, like he's on to me.
Totally.
And so we had one match, and every single thing this guy was doing, I was like, he's going to single AX guard. All right, he's going to probably try to reap, and he would look up at me and be like, fuck.
Would he really?
Yeah.
That's great.
He's like, what do you do?
Fun coaching.
And it's funny, like, not in hindsight, right? It's like, just because I know what you're trying to do doesn't mean that you can stop it, right? We all know what that move is, like, but it still would fuck him up. And then you got there's only two other guys in the division. Oh yeah, his name was also Nick.
Yeah, Nick. What?
How do we forget this?
Kroll. Nick Kroll.
Yeah?
Yeah. That's his last name.
So he gets this guy next, right? And he is in mount or something, and I go, he's going to try to step over. Like he was, I forget what you call it. Is that the Barazzo Plata?
Glover guard. He got me in a fucking Glover guard, this son of a biscuit.
Guard?
Tapped me out in a minute.
No, he was on top. He was on top. Oh, that's where he swept you from. He swept you, got a mount, and then he was doing, I think it's a Barada Plata, where you're in the mount with the, like almost like an oval Plata, like the arms tucked.
I think it's like a Tarico Plata, right? When you come around.
Oh, yeah, I think you're right.
Tarico Plata, yeah.
Maybe, but whatever it was, I didn't know the name, but I knew where he wanted to put his foot. Yeah. And I go, he's going to try to step over, and he looks up at me and just goes, and just
Totally. It was almost like you gave him advice. That's what it felt like.
He looked at me like, good idea.
Yeah.
I was like, well, there were some people, like white belts standing behind me, and then they go, oh, you fucked that one up, coach. I was like, he told me to do that.
Totally. He's going to step over. Awesome. No, it didn't, I think he had that idea, but he hadn't executed on it yet, but it looked like you
looked like I told him what to do.
Great coaching. And he tapped me out in less than 2 minutes. It was like a minute, under a minute.
If he finished it right there.
He did. He did. That was the whole match.
He looked at you. He walks off. He's like looking at you.
Gives you a high five.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it was great.
Thanks, coach.
He's one of my arch nemesis. Like he's got so many good moves.
Do you have an open mat, Nick?
Friday nights.
Friday nights, night.
Yeah, Friday night 6.
He had a, and this is how I believe that cellular trauma is real, is because of Nick Kroll. Because he had a wrist lock from, if you're on bottom passing, I think, or maybe he's on bottom. That's what the weird thing was. Maybe it was he's on bottom, and as soon as you put something on him, he goes for this vicious wrist lock that hurts so bad that you tap immediately. And then I had forgotten about it, and months later, roll with him again, and the position started to happen. And my body, not me, my body was like just jumped before it would happen. And I'm like, that wasn't even me. That was like...
You're like, not again.
Yeah, no. My body had this quick memory.
I took a guess at what cellular trauma meant, and I thought you were going to say, and then the next week, my son's wrist hurt.
I don't think that works.
That's ancestral trauma.
Oh,
Cellular trauma. I don't know about that. I still getting caught in omoplatas all day long.
yeah.
Oh, man, Clark's tapped me 5 times in a 5-minute round.
Seriously.
It's gross.
But so I have used that, though, with other students, like against lower belts, and it super works. It's
Does
super
it?
frustrating for them.
Yeah.
The two things I'll do is because a lot of times you get students who can't take your advice in the moment.
Yeah.
And I know which ones I can give advice to and which ones it doesn't matter.
100%. Yeah. Would you say it's more or less? I would think it's more. More people can't take
Cannot
advice.
take the advice. The majority. Yeah, for sure.
Wow, cool.
A small majority, but
This is really interesting to me because I've never considered myself like a good jiu-jitsu coach, like competition coach, but I've had good ones and I've had different styles.
Yeah.
And but so I would like to be one at some point, but this is fascinating.
Dude, I'll tell you what the most important thing is?
What?
Is like having a voice that people can hear in a crowd.
Oh, wow.
No, absolutely.
Like, it's the biggest thing,
Yeah.
Like if you have because there are some people who can talk loud, but you still can't, like they don't have a sharp sounding voice. Like maybe they have a gravelly voice and they can be screaming, but you still can't hear it.
Right.
That's the biggest thing.
You know who my majority coach was? Barsati.
Yeah.
You met him. And I had to tell him, you can't mock me while I'm in
competing.
the match. You can't make fun of me. Because
It's the one time that it's off limits.
Yeah, I'm like, because it will distract me and I will also laugh. So like it literally makes me pause because he did that before. He's been coaching me and he was like, well, you fucked that up.
Do you know who Kurt Osiander is?
Yeah,
of course.
Yeah. So I started at Half Gracie.
Oh, okay.
And then we would go to competitions and
he would do that.
Yeah, he would screw up. He's like, what the fuck are you doing? Like he would stop coaching you. He's like, I didn't teach you that. Like, and
he just give up on you.
Everybody's laughing.
Right. That's why that's what Barsati was doing. He would get the crowd to crack up. But meanwhile, I'm like, I'm laughing
at your
too.
expense.
Yeah, totally. He even laughed. He laughed when I got my first fight to win, and they called me Professor. And you hear him like, Professor! like, jeez. And you see me in the video like, just take it easy for a moment. Like, this is my debut.
The other one I'll do, especially with like white and blue belts, a little bit more easy to get in their heads. Where if often they'll roll up to my feet. If you're sitting at the mat, you know what I mean? They'll roll up to my feet, and I'll say things like not in a matter of fact. Like like I'm trying to get in your head, like all right, this match is like it's done. Like we wrapped this up. Let's just try to build up some points. It's like he's quitting and it's over now. And then like they'll like glance up at me, and I feel like in the moment I'll say it like disregarding him. I'm saying it to my student, not like I'm trying to mind fuck him. I'm like, yeah, that's just it is. It's over.
Right.
And I'm like, shit. Like how did does he know something I don't know? And it's like. I mean, we've never lost. I don't know if that's... We've never lost with and when that happened. It's probably not because of that, because they really were up by a margin, but yeah, it's just fun. It's good times.
That's fantastic.
It's a good time just breaking blue belts' wills,
You need another one?
I gotta teach kids soon.
Okay. They're only 5%. These are 4%.
These are 5?
Yeah. That's wrong.
Okay. I'll take one more.
That's wrong. You like lemon or passion fruit?
Yeah, I didn't like this as much as the last time I had it.
No?
You know how like different batch... You ever had a beer that you like and then you have it like later into maybe a different batch and like, oh, that doesn't taste quite the same?
Lemon, passion fruit, or Guinness? These are only 4%.
Passion fruit.
Huh.
I like the fruitiest beer.
Oh, do you?
That you can brew.
I do too.
Yeah. I have no
one.
like qualms about being manly with my drink choices.
Oh my God, there's one. My favorite beer is what do they call it? It's they got a Viking on the front with like stomping on strawberries and like passion fruit and like watermelon and raspberries. And I know it's made by Left Field Brewing. And oh my God, I can't remember what it's called, but it is the most delicious.
I like Pilsners. I like Pilsners.
Yeah.
What's a Pilsner? What's like an
It's
example?
like a lager. You know, it's like
Give me an example.
what's that? Who makes a good one? Fall Brewing.
Japan does a lot of Pilsners.
Like
Oh, is it so? It's like a Japanese, like a Asahi or what's the?
It's pretty light.
it's pretty light. It's not quite like
Light and
as
tangy.
light. I mean, those are lagers. Those are a little bit lighter.
Oh, okay.
But Pilsner's a little bit more crispy, I guess.
So what'd you find? What was the craziest thing in Japan that you were like, that's crazy?
What part of Japan were you in? Before you answer that.
We kind of went all.
Sorry.
Mostly we were just in the southern part, so Tokyo, and then we went south. My mom's from Shikoku, which is kind of like in the south, so we went there, and then we worked our way back up. There's like Osaka, Yokohama was where I did the seminar, and then we just different parts. I think the craziest thing was we went to the auto show near Tokyo.
Oh, cool.
It's just
Were they drifting?
No, like a just like display of the cars, But there's like, my brother found it and he's like, oh, they have the auto show here, let's go. And it was like an all day thing. We were super tired. We probably walked like 5 miles that day,
Before or during?
No, during the whole convention was just huge.
They loved. I mean, Japanese cars.
Dude,
Was it all like JDM
motors.
cars, or did they have like American cars there?
No, it was all Japanese cars. All kinds of things like overlanding, RVs, motorcycles that like kind of like steered themselves. The best thing
cool.
one of the best things I saw was Subaru had a flying car prototype. That looked really good. It wasn't.
Wow.
It didn't look like an oversized drone. It looked like actually something out of like Blade Runner or something. That was really
Super
neat.
cool.
Yeah, that was really neat.
So with all the Japanese cars, Vin Diesel didn't show up in the American car. Like, so what's up?
Just like rip up, drive through the middle.
He's like, "What's up, family?"
We've been watching those again. My
Fast
kids
and
are
Furious.
getting into them.
They're still fucking great, dude.
Yeah, you can't put them all together and say they're all great. They're mostly awful, but the third one's good.
They're not
first one's
good,
good
movies.
Yes, thank you.
Right?
Yeah.
They're fun to watch.
They are.
Even the worst one, like the most cheesy ones. Well, okay, so actually, let me rephrase.
Ludacris is pretty good.
I stopped at like
Yeah,
Two.
the seventh,
there
sixth
were
or seventh.
10. Okay.
The ones with like Jason Statham, and then they
Yeah.
fucking. I didn't watch those.
Jason Statham, was he in the last ones?
He was
I don't
in the
remember
one that The Rock was in. And then,
Oh my God.
and then they had
I
a
totally
spin-off.
stopped that.
They had a spin-off. It was like The Rock and Jason Statham.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What was that one called?
It's called like I was gonna say Calvin and Hobbes. It was called something in Hobbes, because Hobbes was The Rock's name and character name, not Calvin and Hobbes. I forget. But the one with The Rock in it it's still fun. It's like it's over
fun?
the top. It's fucking
It's way over the top.
Yeah. But you don't like go into that to see a fucking character development drama. Like
No.
you go into like, let's see some crazy ass shit. you know?
Yeah.
You go in there to relax,
Yeah.
turn your mind off.
Fall asleep.
But I also like Paul Walker.
Yeah.
I've heard that he's like there's two great books.
Brown belt, too.
Yeah.
Was he?
Brown belt in Jiu-Jitsu.
Nice.
There's two great books that everyone that does martial arts should read. And you'd actually, if you like Pride and old school stuff, you'd be really interested in it. It's called The Fighter's Heart and A Fighter's Mind. They're sequels to each other.
Oh.
And this guy, this author who is still like an established author, his name's Sam Sheridan. He found out about MMA and stuff in the early days. And it was so early that these people were accessible.
Yeah.
And because he was an author, so he went only to name a few things. Like he went and studied all these different disciplines. Like because the early days of MMA, people were still doing separate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
you I'd go to
absolutely.
wrestling and then you do
Lion's
jiu-jitsu.
Den.
Yeah. He went to the Lion's Den.
Yeah,
Lion's Den.
did he?
He went to Militich. He stayed at Militich when Tim Sylvia was like at his height.
Oh.
He stayed and
Still
Jens
with love
Pulver
handles.
and who's the other guy
Jens
that still
Pulver's
fights?
awesome. Matt Hughes was
No, the other welterweight that looks like.
Oh my God, Robbie Lawler.
Robbie Lawler, yeah.
Yeah.
And he was like, he went there and he sparred with these guys. Like he lived there for 3 months. Then he went to San Francisco and he lived with. Oh, dude, he's an amazing welterweight boxer, but he's really underrated because he doesn't talk a lot of trash. He's like a Christian guy, and now he's like an announcer, super clean cut. Andre Ward.
Okay.
Lived with Andre Ward. Then he went and interviewed Dan Gable.
Dang.
He went to BTT when they were like the original Brazilian top team. He lived in Brazil. He went to Thailand, lived in Thailand.
That's all in the book?
It's just like basically him like talking through, and so it's kind of part interview and kind of part his story of him traveling. It's fucking amazing.
But you listened to the audiobooks.
No, I read the book. Well, this was before audio. I read this 10 years ago.
Okay.
15 years ago.
Oh, man.
Maybe they have audio. I'll check out the audio.
Why don't you just check out the book?
Okay, I'll check.
They're short books. They're short books.
Short books.
That's awesome. That's a great suggestion. I remember.
Wasn't there a documentary like some guy, two guys like went around the world and trained in all these different martial arts? And
There used to be a
Miniseries,
Discovery Channel or something show.
They were great too. I remember that. He's an announcer now. One of Rogan's buddies.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the what's his name? I don't remember his name, but he was the purple belt. He was the one good guy on that show.
that would have been really fun to do.
The ball guy.
Yeah.
He's a great announcer.
Yeah.
You haven't seen him announce? He's like Rogan. He's like Rogan. Rogan baby Rogan.
What does he announce?
Shows that I don't give a shit about.
Oh, okay.
But,
I think when martial arts were more separate, that would have been a really fun thing to do, is travel around and.
I mean, dude. So I discovered these books when I decided that I wanted to fight. So I was like, "This is what I'm going to do." And then, but then, like as it came around, it was like, "Oh, it's actually much easier just to find a gym that teaches all these things."
Did you know Nick was the King of the Cage champ at one point?
King of the Cage.
Yeah, one day
Right.
in the past.
It's amazing. How long between when you were King of the Cage champ and then, eventually just nobody? Like, was there
Real fast. The next day.
It lasts for an hour.
No, dude, I had the belt for a while.
I got that.
Did you get a purse? How much did you make?
Nothing. Nothing. $2,000.
Oh, nice.
That belt's like sitting in like a storage bin.
Is it? Why isn't it right here?
It's a shitty belt. It's not cool looking.
That's not cool at all.
Yeah.
They should have stepped it up a little. But what was your next fight? Did you have
it or something?
Did you have it? We have a real nice one made.
Yeah.
So
for the podcast.
So I went up in weight for that fight. So what happened was I was 3-0. I think I was only 3-0, and they have a junior welterweight division. What King of the Cage does in between lightweight and welterweight, and it was vacated. And the guy that they were going to put in there was also a lightweight. He was not even.
I see.
And so they were like, "Well, he's going to go up in weight. He's 4-0." And then I watched him, and I was like, "This guy is good, but style-wise, it's perfect for me."
Oh, nice.
So it was just kind of like this perfect storm thing. I was like, "Let's get in there," and went to New Mexico, fought at altitude, 5 rounds, went the whole decision. I was gonna fucking die after the first round, dude. I remember, like, I crushed this guy. This is one of my only fights that's on YouTube. I crushed this guy for the first round, and I sit down in my chair, and my coach goes, "All right, 4 more of those." And I'm like, "Oh fuck, I'm fucking already dead." Dude, it's one of my favorite fights because it was just like dude, I'm gonna fucking die out there, and he's just gonna die more. Like, you know what I mean? Like
Mario Yamasaki, he was ready.
Yeah. And it was really cool. It was a really fun fight. I got hit so much, dude.
Did you?
I took so many shots, but my game plan was like he was like this long rangey striker, but I could take a shot pretty well. So I was like, I'm gonna like take some shots and get inside. I mean, my game plan was not to take the shots, but I was like, chances are, if you're trying to pressure someone, you got to be able. You're gonna take a couple,
And you're gonna shorten them too, right? Because they're not gonna get full extension.
Right. Yeah. So it was just like pressure, and like stuff his punches, get a hold of him, and then I knew like grappling wise, I could drown him.
Wow.
And yeah, that's what happened.
But then, so you had the belt, and then did you get?
My next fight was the only fight that I lost because the next dude
was a true weight size.
He's a big guy.
Yeah.
And I think that was psychologically my worst fight
Oh, really?
It was like by far the fight that I went into the most confident, and that was when I learned that I do the best when I'm nervous.
Wow!
And I went in there, and this guy had like a real heavy. He still does. He still fights in like combate or something like that. Had like a heavy right hand. Knocked a lot of people out with his right hand, and we built this whole game plan around not engaging to his right hand and like creating angles and getting inside for a clinch, you know. And I was just so confident that I went out there just kind of dancing like, fuck it. First thing I did was like lean to the right to throw a liver shot, and I went into his right hand.
Oh my God.
And then like saw his legs.
And your coach was just like,
took him down.
And then we talked about this.
Yeah, and he dropped me, but then I ended up like falling into his legs, and I turned that into a takedown. And this is interesting because another reason why I tell people like it's good to be nervous is because you can't overthink. And I remember, you know me, right? Like, fucking, I don't tap to guillotines.
No,
you know, you tear my head off.
So that's your defense. It's just your neck.
You're right, yeah.
Pulsating.
So he puts me in a guillotine, and I remember being so aware of the crowd. Because normally it's tunnel vision, right?
Yeah.
You're so nervous that you're not aware of anything. You're just acting,
like people are watching.
Right, and I remember being in this guillotine and looking over and seeing like people in the crowd, like, oh fuck, these people are gonna see me lose. And typically, like the way I survive chokes is I calm down. Like, okay, like if I can get my heart rate down, I don't need as much blood in my brain.
Oh wow.
You know, so like I just let me just chill. And then like if you panic in a choke, the choke gets far worse.
It makes it worse.
Right, yeah. So I remember being calm enough to be aware of the situation and being like, oh fuck, what if these people, and then they're gonna see, what are they gonna think, and then I start panicking, and then that's when and I think psychologically,
somebody should have told you that guillotine was coming.
I mean, I knew that he liked guillotines. Yeah. I knew that, but I was like, no one's gonna guillotine me.
That's what he thinks. I mean, look at it; it's just all mostly neck. This guy, it's like 20% neck. You know who else is a King of the Cage champ that we should have on the podcast? Dean Lister. Yeah, you should be like, hey, King of the Cage champ, King of the Cage champ,
champ v chancellor.
yeah, come on the podcast, Dean. That'd be super cool.
Yeah. Victory's gone for a little while.
No, they're reopening.
So are they the same spot?
We'll have to wrap up in probably about 15 minutes.
Okay, same spot?
No, across the street, I think.
Oh, okay.
No, they're in Claremont. They have a temporary spot in Claremont, but it's smaller though. And I don't think they're. I'm assuming they're not going to have open mat because they can't host as many people. It. I don't know. But yeah, it's in Claremont.
And Prism is growing. You just told me today. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's been good.
And you got your online school? That's freaking awesome. You've been
sponsor of the podcast.
Yeah, Prism
Plus.
Prism Plus.
Yeah,
Prism Plus.
I know you've done so much. You're like, you got 50, 60 hours of content on there. I'm thinking when you first started doing that.
Not yet.
Not yet?
On Prism Plus?
Yeah.
What do you got? 5-6 hours.
Oh, okay. That's way different.
It's 5-6 hours, but
stuff.
But it's not like if you watch a Gordon Ryan instructional.
Yeah.
It's 13 hours, but like he explains one move for 28 minutes and he shows it to you 4 times.
Right.
And I'm here. If I did it in that format, it'd be a good 15 hours.
Right.
I just show the move one time. If you didn't get it, start the video over.
That is so important, I think, now too, because I'm making tutorials for the breath work for jiu-jitsu stuff.
Yeah.
And like, I hope the whole thing's 10 minutes total. You know what I mean?
That's what everybody wants.
10 1-minute videos.
Give me the information.
Right, just we all have rewind. It's not even rewind. It doesn't take you any time. The tape doesn't have to rewind. It takes you one swipe.
Yeah.
And and I think that's how this generation needs consumes content.
Oh yeah, real fast.
So my lacrosse kids found out that I was a breath coach. And while I coached lacrosse, I'm also the teacher.
You didn't have them doing breath work?
No, not so much because we got a focus what we're doing. But they were like, "Oh, could you send us some video?" And I was looking at my videos, and they're like 5 and 7 minutes. And I'm like, "No way! These kids are watching 5 or 7 minutes. They need 30 seconds."
Does that not really?
Oh yeah, come on! These are kids. The goldfish have 8, and we're less than goldfish. Like these guys something needs to explode
immediately,
and a car crash needs to happen. Somebody needs to come.
If I'm leaning over my son's shoulder and when he's on his computer and like he's scrolling I'm like, what about this? And he just scrolls super fast, and he's like
So fast.
scanning through everything. I'm like, slow down. He's like, what? You can't see this? I'm like, no.
Have you seen that guy that teaches Japanese words he makes on TikTok and
No.
YouTube Shorts and stuff? That's fucking amazing. He's the best teacher of anything I've ever seen.
What? Really? No. Share.
Is it like real Japanese, or is
Upload
like he making fun of Japanese?
No. He teaches he's a Japanese guy, and he teaches a word.
Like a word.
But usually what he'll teach is like two Japanese words that sound similar. Like this is how effective. I saw this months ago. This is how effective his lesson is. So like hashi
Yeah.
is a bridge, right?
Yep.
And then chopsticks are hashi.
Yeah.
And so the difference is the bridge goes up hashi, and you set your chopsticks down hashi. You know.
And then what do you do?
That's the word. That's it. So let me show you his videos. So he explains it with so much enthusiasm, but he has all these like numeric devices, but he makes it like a shitload of fun. It's like fucking
man.
Japanese Blues Clues for adults.
Oh, that's awesome.
And but he has these numeric devices to help you remember. So like hashi and hashi, like you set your chopsticks down before you eat, but then hold on.
It's also circumstantial.
So,
Yeah.
So he lied?
No. Like if you're speaking, you could use, like if you don't get the enunciation correctly, but you're speaking about.
People understand.
Yeah, of course.
Like, you didn't walk over the chopsticks.
Yeah,
I get it.
exactly. There's no bridge there. Those are chopsticks.
so while you're looking for that,
Yeah.
I'm going to plug my dates.
Okay.
So in August, I'll be in Mendocino at the Grapplers Retreat with co-teaching with Hodger Gracie. No big deal. I think he goes by Roger, not actually Hodger. But I'm not teaching
Really?
Jiu-Jitsu. I'm teaching the Wim Hof stuff. But he really loves chess. And I just found the greatest chess tutorial Instagram where this guy is blind and raps his chess moves. And it's the cringiest and most delicious Instagram I've ever found lately. And so he's rapping what he's doing, and he's blind, and it's incredible. So we'll link that in the
awesome.
podcast.
Can I show you this?
Yeah.
Welcome to my Japanese lesson. Today, I want to teach you how to say bridge. You say hashi chopsticks. You say hashi. What? The difference is intonation.
Oh my God. No, I get it though.
You go up the bridge.
You got one.
Intonation
Got one.
up
It's almost
the
like-
hashi chopsticks. You go down because you put the chopsticks down on
You'll
the
see the
table.
end.
there.
It's only
No
5
problem.
seconds left.
But wait, edge is hashi too. So how do you tell the difference between bridge and edge? You just have to listen to the context of the sentence.
Yeah.
Oh, Japanese!
He's the greatest.
Fucking moons you.
Oh my God. Link
And I'm
him
like,
in the
dude,
podcast.
if I could bring that much enthusiasm to my teaching, no one would forget anything I told them.
and make it into a 49-second video.
That's true, right?
Jeez,
Like,
right.
that's-
You do a
like-
pretty good job. I'm sure that the Prison Plus is awesome because you do a very good job of being.
This is a Kumura.
I really don't think that I do. I think I have a hard time like going on tangents and getting distracted. But
on podcasts for sure. Yeah, you're very verbose, but while you teach, I think it's different.
Well, maybe I try to, and that's why I like the Instagram Shorts because I sit there and I chop the shit out of it. Like I take every single thing out, so it's much
Yeah.
easier to be like this. You know?
I love that. I mean, there's a particular person that came up with that kind of editing, that YouTube editing, but I love it. It's very
Who's that person?
impactful. Man, it's on the
Beast.
tip of my tongue. He was like a reporter, and he just said a lot, and so he was like, I just cut out the ums.
Yeah.
And so he was one of the OGs. I don't remember who he was. He's like millions, billions of followers.
Do you have
now.
more kids or adults?
So 50-50.
Oh,
Yes. Because I don't. The kids program is pretty easy to grow. It grows by itself, and so I don't really market for it at all. So I think most schools are probably have bigger kids programs than they do adults.
It's all the moms and dads talking to each other.
Yeah. Well, yeah. They bring their friends in for sure, but kids stay longer because they don't have a choice.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's true.
That's what you want.
That
You want
is
a market
really
that
true.
doesn't have a choice.
Well, no.
If the parents like the
Prisoners.
place.
Yeah, the turnover is for adults. They either if they make it past a few months, they're there for a long time. But a lot of people try it and they're lazy or they don't want to make a lifestyle change or
wow.
it's too hard for them.
He's talking about everyone
or
that
they
quit
don't, or
prison
they don't
jiu-jitsu.
enjoy it,
now.
or they don't enjoy it. Like it's not for them.
Or they get
you know?
injured. A lot of injuries.
Not in the beginning, not in the first few months.
I think that's
I've
the
never
first
lost
stage,
anybody
right? It's
injured
like
in
they
the
got to get over like the 3-month, 4-month thing,
3-4 months. That's what I tell them.
and then like
just make
then
it
the
through
blue
that.
belt thing. Like they get blue belt, and then you're like, well, okay, well, is that enough for me?
You need a fresh meat bell. Your door doesn't have a chime, but then once you start to get good and you hear the chime, it's like, oh yeah, fresh meat's coming in this mother.
Well, how much time we got? Should we wrap?
We're pretty good. Yeah, let's wrap it up.
No, you gotta go soon. All right, so if you want to follow the podcast, Post Rolls Podcast, or I think it's actually Post Rolls Pod.
Oh my God, please no. Please know what it is.
I think it's Post Rolls Podcast. Well, if you search
Instagram?
that, you'll find it either way.
Post rolls. 'Cause there's only one of us.
Post
We're
Rolls
doing
Podcast. Yeah. It's the one with the awesome logo that Miles made.
Oh, respect. Shout out.
YouTube, Spotify, all the Instagram.
And intro. Please, guys, enjoy the intro.
Yeah.
The intro is a lot of fun.
Have you heard our intro?
I'm sure I have.
He's watched a few.
We put a lot of. Well, Miles put a lot of time into it. We had a long conversation. He put a lot of effort into
Yeah,
it.
he was the marketing guy for a
Thank
while,
you.
right?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. We're like a video
Marketing guy.
and-
Yeah.
But I did the motion graphics and everything for the intro.
Nice.
We're pretty happy about the intro.
You made those motion graphics?
You didn't know that? What do you think? I farmed it out to
I thought there was just
No, you
some
kept
program
all
where you were
the-
like, make my thing spin around.
some
and-
canned stuff. Oh
Yeah,
my
yeah.
God, that 100%. I made everything. That was
Oh,
like
that's
AI
awesome.
art and
Your breathwork one's good too. The breath fitness. It's
Thank you. I got some cool stuff coming up.
balloons up.
It's it'll be too late, but this weekend I got one, and the weekend after that, a couple weekends from now, Concentric. I got another one. It's a couple of jiu-jitsu practitioners that they opened up a therapy kind of gym, which is awesome, super cool. That'll be in San Diego. And then April, we got the Grapplers Retreat, but that's sold out. And then October, there's 3 spots left at the Grapplers Retreat again. That's probably going to sell out soon.
Is that the one that I'm tagging along to?
Yeah, and you'll
Nice.
be there.
October,
Professional
Grapplers
Professor
Retreat.
will be there.
And then prisonplus.online if you want to stop sucking at jiu-jitsu. And
Suck it.
Dang, so are you plugging?
$14.99 a month for the first 100 people that sign up.
Nice.
We just launched a few days ago, and spots are already going, so get on it.
That's awesome. If you guys want to come down to Clark Gracie and roll with me and
Yeah.
all kind of other people,
Heck yeah.
yeah.
we're down in Bay Park.
Bay Park, Clark Gracie, Jiu-Jitsu. Come see Professor Michael.
Yeah, awesome.
Cool.
Cheers, guys. This is great.
All right.
Thanks for being here.
Yeah.
Appreciate you.
Thank you, man.
Respect.
Peace, guys. Thank you.
Perfect.
Os.